That fly buzzing around your soup, that's not just a bug. That is a highly developed miniaturized flying crab. If that sounds insane, you should know that for decades, asking, are insects crustaceans, was one of the most heated debates within evolutionary biology. But very recently, we stopped arguing and we started sequencing. Hi, I'm Krutik, I have a PhD in genetics, and today we aren't just looking at bugs, we are looking at the data that rewrote the tree of life. How did we miss this? Well, historically speaking, we grouped animals based on how they looked, based on their morphology. In that consideration, we thought insects would be much closer to Myriapoda, the subphylum that contains centipedes and millipedes. But in 2014, a massive study published in the journal Science analyzed 1,478 single copy genes across 144 arthropod orders. Think of this as looking at the building blocks of the house, rather than just the paint color, to assess which houses are more similar. The genetic verdict was very clear. Insects branched off from a group of crustaceans, and the specific group they branched off from included the modern Remipedia, a class of blind, pale crustaceans found in underwater sea caves. Your garden variety ant is genetically closer to a cave-dwelling swimmer than it is to a centipede or spider living right next to it. Which begs the question, why? Why leave the primordial oceans at all? The leading hypothesis from 2012 suggests a high-stakes game of hide and seek. The oceans at the time were filling up with a terrifying new predator, fish. To survive, the ancestors of the Pancrustacea had to move. One such group, the ancestors of the Branchiopoda, like fairy shrimp, retreated to temporary freshwater pools. The ancestors of the Remipedia hid in deep, landlocked sea caves, known as the alkaline systems, which are really cool and have all these bizarre creatures. Might make another video on them entirely separate to this. But the ancestors of the Hexapoda, our modern-day insects, took a more radical route. They invaded the land. They traded their gills for trachea to escape fish. Uniquely ironic, considering that fish eventually evolved legs and followed them up here. That would be you and I and, well, my cats. So when did this crab-to-bug transition occur? The oldest fossils that we have for insects is from the early Devonian, around 412 million years ago. But fossils that old are rare. Molecular biology gives us a different date. Molecular clocks based on DNA mutation rates can give us another estimate, and they estimated the earliest insects occurred a little bit earlier, around 479 million years ago. That date is quite crucial as well. That means insects colonized the land around the same time plants were also taking over terrestrial ecosystems. This means insects and plant terrestrialization could have had a symbiotic connection. The plants built the houses, and the crustaceans, or the very early insects, moved into those houses to clear up. So, the next time you swat a fly from your soup, remember you are looking at an evolutionary marvel. A lineage of crustaceans that escaped the ancient oceans, grew wings, and conquered our planet. If you want to dive deep into the genetic data that is rewriting the history of our planet, check out the citations below and subscribe to the EvoBio Scientific Journal Club. I've been Krutik. Follow me on X, hit the bell to turn on notifications from this channel. See you next time for more science.